All right. We live once again, family. You with the general. You already know you it's too raw. Y'all already know what it is. We keep it hard body commentary over here. You can't come you can't go nowhere else on the YouTube. Get this type of commentary. You know you're gonna go over there, people gonna be whining and crying and so we want to stand strong, get some strategy. We want to get policy out of this. You understand? Because this is going to continue to go on the planet. It's not going to go away because you cry or whatever. It's not going to happen. You see? So uh we have to we have to see these things that's going on the planet, and we have to create a strategy, you see, to be successful if our people get in any type of situations like this. Now what we're hearing today, that there are calls to remove Trump from office, invoking the 25th Amendment. Okay, they talking about they go and knowing damn well they ain't about to get that man up out of there. They done already. I done heard people. So it's a front. They want to make. You got these other Neanderthals, and they want to pretend like they more moral than Donald Trump. See, this is again. You got to understand they all on the same team. This is America. America is a team. If the nation go down, they all go down. You see, all their pockets go down. You see, all their investments go down. It ain't just, you act like, no, all they shit go down too. So they looking to keep, they looking to continue to stay wealthy. They looking to continue to be influential on the planet, and so they figuring he gonna be the one that gonna do what need to be done, man, to reverse the downslide that America is taking, the downslide that white supremacy is taking, you see? And so, they're just like, when we look at, and people say they want to invoke, well, why ain't they going to war with Vladimir Putin? Vladimir Putin been damn threatening dropping a bomb on Ukraine for the last 3 years. You understand what I'm saying? They say Vladimir Putin had stipulations. They say if the United States send these type of missiles over, he's prepared to drop a nuclear bomb. He's prepared to drop a nuclear bomb. And so, Vladimir Putin been talking the same shit. And ain't nobody saying nothing like towards Vladimir Putin. Am I taking up for Trump? No. I'm just saying all these devils is just the same. So what is going on here? What is going on here where, people want to, because like I said, I know why he's in there. That's why I laugh and smile. I know what their agenda is. I know it's about the last ditched effort to save white supremacy. I have no illusion that Donald Trump is in there for anybody other than the elites of America that is trying to salvage power on the planet. So when he go over there and say the shit he do, when he do shit against black people, that's what he supposed to do. Damn. Y'all acting like y'all always looking for a savior or something, especially outside of your own people. That's why you always come up short. Donald Trump ain't gonna do nothing before. And if you get something, is to keep you in the pocket where you ain't causing no problem until he can deal with your ass. He gonna give you, just give him the nigga Scooby snack. Give nigga Scooby snack, give him a goddamn, keep him pacified for a minute. And then when he done dealing with what he dealing with and it's your time, he gonna get on your head, nigga. Your time coming, they ain't got no place for you. And I believe every great leader has said that about, the coming war that it is already happening. He's running up in every city, but that's the demise of our people. You see, now, and people say, oh, well, we brought it on ourselves. You're right. We have brought it on ourselves. You're exactly right. We have brought it on ourselves more ways than one. You see, more ways than one. We done brought it on ourselves because we should have been about black power a long time ago. We done sat over here, not making economy. And even when we made economy, it was attacked, no different than what he doing to Iran. You understand what I'm saying? They've been doing that to us. Yeah, they've been doing that to us. But the Iranians and the Arabs have been doing it too. All of them over there. When you start dealing with them damn Europeans and them Asians, all of them. You see, African people didn't have to do that. We didn't have to do that. No, we didn't have to do that. No, we didn't. We had some issues now, but we ain't been known because we've already got the most magnificent civilizations on the planet. Egypt didn't have to go out and do nothing like Egypt was the most beautiful, most mind-boggling civilization, and they didn't have to go do none of that. People was coming from all over the world to see. The only time Egypt became imperialistic when them damn shepherd kings, which go back to what we dealing with right now. The same shit you talking about attack Egypt. And so from that point, then they became imperialistic where they had to go and take land like Canaan, which later became Israel, even parts of Mesopotamia, Arabia. They had to seize that for their own protection. It was theirs anyway, but their brothers and sisters had been attacked over there, so it was necessary to reinforce our peoples in them lands, and so we had to move military down into them areas. You see what I'm saying? So but when you talk about all lay down great leaders, all of them is imperialists. Every last one of you call any one of them names of any European or damn Asian, and he's a fucking imperialist that then came and conquered other people's land. That's real talk. So I don't give a goddamn, which one of them you call. They all imperialists. All of them have taken land and destroyed nations and destroyed people that, and took their land knowing it don't belong to them. And so now that people don't know their history and they've been sitting on the damn land for 1,000 years, that didn't no different than the white man over here. The same shit the Iranian and them and the Arab and all of them pale Arabs over there right now is no different than the white man over here. The only thing is America is only 200 years old. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing over there, but they've been there about 1,000 years. You see what I'm saying? They've been there about 1,000 years. They conquered about 1,000 years ago. If that, about 1,000. About 1,000. The Arab came up out of there around 700. You see what I'm saying? About 700. Alexander and them came in there about 332. So with the European, about 2,000. A little bit like 2,000. Then you got the Arab about 1,300. You see, right around that time. So people think, because they've been over there most of the time of people's consciousness because their knowledge of history is limited to a certain time period. They don't have a command over ancient history per se to understand how these people wasn't in the land over there. You see? And so I know and understand that, just like when we talk about Palestine, and I did that for y'all to break it down to show you that even from the Bible, you see, and I'm not saying that everything in the Bible is right, but not everything is wrong. I go in there and show you that some of that geography that they document where they say that the Canaanites, which were of the line of Ham, which was black, was the indigenous people of the land. That's true. That's true. So when they talk about who was indigenous, it documents that. So what are we talking about? Okay? What are we talking about? So now today you see the Palestinian, you say, well, the white Jew went over there and took Palestine. Well, who the Palestinian took it from? Shit, if we're gonna do right, let's do this shit all the way back to where and get the indigenous people they land. You see? Now you saying black people over here say they're indigenous to America. They on the pale Indian saying he's a faker. You know what I'm saying? He's a fake. He's not native. How is he native? How is he native? He come from goddamn. We know where he come from. He not native. We know where he come from. You see, so he's not native. He migrated his ass over here just like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? But we were first. We've been here long, thousands of years before they got over here. So that's the truth. Okay, so it's no different than what the pale Indian here, the pale man there, the pale, anywhere where you see a pale man. Shit. The only place he's indigenous is up there in goddamn Siberia. So we got to understand that. So when they say the talk to remove Donald Trump from power, invoking the 25th, they didn't already said that. And I was watching a video saying that it's harder to damn use the 25th Amendment rule. That's when the cabinet and the vice president can remove the president because his cognitive faculties is breaking down. And so the cabinet and the vice president can remove the president, and the vice president can become the acting president until the president can either prove that he's regained his cognitive faculties, and if he cannot prove that, then the vice president can continue to be the acting president. And that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And they done already said that. And there's some other things that go along with that. But they said that it's harder to, remove the president with the 25th Amendment than it is to impeach him. You see what I'm saying? So go figure. But see, they are pretending like, they upset. Well, they ain't upset. They ain't goddamn upset about none of that. Some of them faking and flogging. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are agents for this Illuminati. Listen to me when I tell you, what they trying to do today is ridiculous. Man, everything that they talking about doing, man, I was watching videos damn near 30 years ago. I used to watch this one called Iron Mountain, and this is where they was talking about how the UN was going to take over all the governments, and, the UN, they're going to have that one government, the UN, and that the UN charter would supersede all the national constitutions and all of that. And that one day you would see UN armies, and so you would see races from all over the world policing your nation, because the UN police will become the one world police. And a lot of that shit they trying to bring to reality. You see, they trying to, but there's some nations out here that's bucking that. They're bucking that now because, some of the elites, again, was, America and probably Britain and France and, the same old gang. And a lot of people probably don't want to ride with that no more. So they coming up with new Illuminatis. You see, and they ain't stopped trying to achieve that, but they trying to shuffle around who gonna be in charge today. Not whether they want to continue to do that, but who is gonna be in charge. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. I'll push it. I'll push it back a little. I'll push it back a little further than that. I'll push it back a little further than that because I remember back in the 80s and shit. Especially that golden age of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? People were still a little more. When you talk about our people making movies, they was putting some relevant movies out there. Thought-provoking, revolutionary movies. Malcolm, the Panthers, Higher Learning. There was a lot of movies that were still coming out at that time. And then you had the music was more revolutionary and they was tapping into the ancient knowledge. You see, so I say, you know, that late 80s and that I tell you, up into NWA, the West Coast, I'm sorry to say, but when gangster rap, I say when gangster rap came out, but even the early, I'm not going to even say all the gangster rap, because even that early gangster rap, niggas still had some messages in that music. You see, they wasn't all just kill. Yeah, they were showing how niggas was killing, but they was at least trying to say, look, nigga, think about this. You know, it was brothers out there that was really, using that as a platform to expose and try to teach some things. So I think, man, I just say, the latter part of the 90s, yeah, you're right. I say the latter part of the 90s, you know what I'm saying? But the late 80s, early 90s, up mid 90s, you know what I'm saying? It was still some teaching going on. Ain't no teaching going on now. Ain't no teaching. Yeah, gangster rap originally was by it was. It was. They was kicking some shit. You know what I'm saying? NWA came out with fuck the police. Shit, I mean, that's what they came out on. And then I couldn't continue to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, Easy E, man, is treacherous when it came to his mouth. Easy E was treacherous, and he put out Thuggish Ruggish Bone. They wasn't so treacherous. You know what I'm saying? But Easy E mouth, man, when it came to the disrespect of women, Easy E is like one of the worst niggas ever that touched the microphone. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, family, I appreciate y'all, man. That's right. Exactly. But anyway, family, they not gonna get that man up out of there. That's just a fake. That's a front. I'll see y'all in a minute. Don't you believe it? They're just pretending like it's some good ones out there. Ain't no good ones. They all faking in front. He doing what he's supposed to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, click some links over there in the chat, support the general so we could continue to stay out here putting this raw, unfiltered commentary down for the people. See you in a minute. Black Power.